abilities. There's loads of abilities you can use. There's kind of like 3 different trees, right, that you can spec into. And without giving too much away, there's more on the site about this. But my personal favourite one was the Chaos one, and because it seemed to me very much like using the Force from Star Wars. So some of the examples of the stuff you can do, you can ignite foes' grenades on their bodies. You can hack into them and basically make them blow up. You can also emit kind of a sound that makes people vomit themselves to death, which was very, very fun. And it was very nicely rendered, may I say. And also you can release swarms of fly nanobot type things.
Yeah, nanobots that kind of just consume your foes and give you a little help on the battlefield. I know people were kind of torn between, you know, wanting a new Black Ops game and wanting a World of War game. And obviously one of the pros with having it set in this kind of futuristic time zone is that there's just more abilities. There's more things you can do with it. So for example, these abilities, you can take control of the enemy's robots. You can control them through the sky. You can
take drones over as well and like fly them around as well.
You can, you know, rip the battery pack from a robot's chest and launch it as a grenade. It's really cool. And it's just definitely interesting because this is the first time, I mean, in other Black Ops games, you've definitely got abilities. In Advanced Warfare, you know, it's the first time we're seeing like double jumping and, you know, this approaching more of a bit of a sci-fi genre in terms of gameplay. But this is the first time we've ever seen an ability wheel. You know, where you can level up different categories, tailor your own character to be who you want him to be, which is really, really cool.
The second one is 4-player co-op, which is great. So, I mean, they were very, very keen. I mean, obviously they would say this, but they were keen to emphasize the fact that they built this as a co-op game rather than building a single-player game that you then...
And making it 4-player.
And make it 4-player. I mean, so we both had a go at 2-player co-op on a new mission called Provocation, which is kind of set in this weird biodome where these massive trees.
I think one of the most interesting things as well when we were playing that demo level was the fact that they had emphasized it before, that this was a 4-player co-op game. That's the way it was designed. And this is the first kind of Call of Duty game that I felt where you are shaping your character as you play. A lot of the times in previous Call of Duty games, you start your campaign and you're put in the mind and the body of a certain character, a soldier. And that's just a game type, that's just who you play as. But obviously now, because it's built for 4-player co-op, you may have someone that levels up their stealth abilities. And then you can be the one that levels up their kick-ass force abilities, you know? There's a bit of a give and take, and it definitely does show when you're playing 4-player co-op.
So that kind of leads into our third point, which is the safe house system. So as you'd expect, the safe house is where you launch all your missions from. And you have your own room in the safe house. And as you go through, there's collectibles you can find, there are medals you can unlock, you can decorate your space.
It's pretty cool. It's essentially like a physical representation of what it's like being in a party.
Exactly.
So, you know, the building that you're in, that is essentially your party. And as team members join, as team members drop out, their doors will open up and reveal, you know, their rooms.
So originally, you know, if you're in there on your own, the other 3 doors will be closed. But then if a mate joins you, it'll open up and suddenly there's, you know, their room will be there. You'll be able to see what collectibles they've got, what medals they've got, how they've earned it, all of this, how they've chosen to kind of decorate their room. And then if they leave, it closes. If someone else joins, it opens up and it's their room all of a sudden.
And I mean, I realized we were probably not selling it, because even at the start when he was telling us, and I was like, I'm never gonna go to my room. Like, I don't really care about this. I just want to go kill some zombies. I just want to run around blowing stuff up. But then as soon as he was like, oh, like on your wall here, like here's your cabinets, and you can see all the little slots where the medals go in. And I'm like, it would look really good if I had if I had all my medals in there. And imagine, you know, joining your friends in a lobby and they're like, hey, you know, check out what I've got in my room, and you're like, how did you even get these medals? You know, how did you get all these achievements and things? It's really, really cool.
It does look really, really good, just because you know, obviously it is the essential version of a lobby. It's where you can select your missions, what you want to do. You can also edit your loadouts there, and like, you know, how you want to customize yourself. There's always someone who's like, oh, let me just go to the bathroom before this mission, and you know, it's a nice little thing. It's a nice little thing to do, you know? He does pee a lot. It's just a nice thing to be able to kind of go around and choose what you want to do. All missions, all of them, are available day 1.
So this is kind of a mechanic that you could say is quite similar to Destiny, where you can just start the game and, you know, all the missions are already on your map. Obviously, it's not recommended that you just jump straight to the last ones because they're going to be substantially harder. And also, they did point out that you will receive warnings if you're playing with your friends, for example. If you want to join a mission that they've done, you will receive warnings saying, you know, caution, there are spoilers. You may be ruining the story for you. Obviously, they recommend that you play through chronologically to get the best experience.
And basically, the reason they said they were doing this is, you know, with books, with films, with TV, you know, you can jump in wherever you want.
Yeah.
And games are the only one that's like, you must complete this, you must be this tall to ride the ride, type thing. And it's a similar thing of, you know, if Rory has it day one and then I buy the game a week later and I want to play with him on some of the later missions, I've got to grind my way through the earlier ones first. But no longer. That's kind of, they wanted to get rid of that, give you the option to really do what you want to do.
It was nice. It was, you know, just them kind of emphasizing it's your content, you paid for it. Why should you not have the freedom to play whatever?
Play it exactly how you want to play it. The last one, which for me wasn't that big a deal, but for you, you kind of lost your mind. So point number 5 is, for the first time, loadouts are now completely cross-mode. So you can build a loadout in campaign, take it to co-op, take it to multiplayer, take it to zombies, and vice versa. You can do it whatever way you want.
Which is a huge, huge step forward because originally, all of these game modes are very, very separate.
Yeah.
You know, for example, even campaign and online are completely different. They're taking the character stereotypes that they've had in COD games and they're completely changing it. So it's not just you playing a level and then this level has this loadout. It's your character. It's your character you built. It's the character you've given these abilities to.
You've customized them to look how you want them to look as well.
Exactly. And then that's just part of it. You just feel a bit more personal when you're playing through the campaign. At least that's how I felt.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was great. And I mean, just chatting to the game director as well. He was saying it was his actual proudest achievement of what he's done on the game. Because he was saying, you know, people have been asking for it for years, and a lot of people now it's here will be like, oh, well, yeah, that should have been there ages ago.
Yeah.
He's like, what people don't realize is just trying to get we had all these systems in place, but getting the different modes to talk to each other. He's like, the amount of code it is taken, like probably more than anything else. So that you know, I think that is, as you say, for us it's a minor convenience. For them, it's a huge achievement.
It's months of work
exactly.
Coding,
it's a good blueprint, and as we say, with all these things, it's a fantastic blueprint for stuff going forward.
And I obviously, people have said there's a lot in the past, and I wish they hadn't, because it means it's a little bit less when we say it. I definitely think, from playing it and from everything that we've seen across campaign, multiplayer, and zombies, this is definitely one of the most different Call of Duty games that we've seen to date, with some of the changes that they're making.
So for all of your Call of Duty needs, stay right here on IGN.